Hello, today we're making handmade lotion from scratch. You're going to need a spatula, some pipettes, some craft stick, a stand mixer, some beakers, alcohol, a calculator, and your jar, preferably a glass or plastic jar, and also your recipe. Let's get started. We are mixing together our phase A, which is our water soluble ingredients. And here I have allantoin powder, dl-panthenol, and some disodium edta. To that, I'm also going to mix some water soluble extracts. My licorice extract, glycerin, and shea 50. Now it's my phase B, which is mostly my oil plus waxes. I have fraction coconut oil, shea butter, Q10, my waxes, and also my lightening serum. Bring this to a boil until it's all melted. Heat and hold both oil and water phase at 70 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. So it's been 20 minutes since I've been heating and holding my water phase and my oil phase. So I'm going to turn off the stove, and then I did cover it a little just so that I don't lose enough water. So it's quite above 70, but that isn't any problem. And same with the oil phase, so they should be at least close to the same temperature before you emulsify. And next is where the magic happens. So you take your oil phase and then pour it into your water, and you can see that it actually starts to look kind of white. So depending on what your liquid color looks like, that's how the final batch is going to look like. And then I'm just going to go ahead and blend. Going to go back in there. So it's still pretty hot. Now I'm going to take some cold water, which is just ice and water, and I'm going to keep blending in the ice water bath so that it actually emulsifies and cools down faster. Phase will be around 40 degrees, and let me just check to see. So it's at 35, which is a pretty good time for me to add everything else. All right, and I'm just going to leave it. If you look at it, it's starting to thicken quite a bit. Look to my right, you're going to see how the cream is starting to thicken up after leaving it down for a while. So it's going to actually thicken up, guys. I'm sure you can see that. That was the exact reason why I left this, because a lot of times it starts to thicken when I put down my hand mixer. So you want to give it a good stir or blend. Fragrance next. My fragrance is a combination of apple fragrance and then orange essential oil. I particularly chose the orange sweet essential oil because it's not photosensitive. So after my fragrance, next goes what is perhaps the most important thing, I don't like to make my lotion without a preservative, but feel free if you don't want to use a preservative. It's totally personal choice, but make sure to keep your lotion refrigerated. But remember, it only has a very short time frame, so you have to use it in a couple of days. If not, you want to use a preservative because you do not want mold growing into your lotion or your cream. So I'm going to add this. Like this, and you don't want it to thicken up fast, you can go ahead and pour into here, but just leave your lid open, okay, until it is fully cool. But with this, I always use this for my lotion, and I like to use this because I can totally reuse this, but I always make sure I keep it clean. I keep it soaked in some hot water and bleach or vinegar, and then make sure it is dry, and I still go ahead and spray some isopropyl alcohol, which is 99% alcohol, and then you want to spritz that again and then let it air dry. So I already did that earlier on, and this is where I keep my alcohol, so it's all good to go. Okay, so it's just been after a couple of minutes or half an hour. If you want it to get thick fast, you can keep mixing it in an ice bath, but that's, as you can see guys, or this thickened up pretty fast. So that's why you want to put it in your container, especially if you're using like a small mouth container, because once it gets thick, you're not going to be able to pour it. Yeah. So this is how creamy it looks, and that's how you make your own personal lotion.